Ronaldinho still making headlines in 2026, tribute, rumors, and his everlasting legacy. The name that refuses to fade. Every few weeks in 2026, something unusual happens in football. A clip trends. A stadium erupts during a Legends match. A young player attempts an audacious no-look pass. A rumor spreads online, is he coming back for a special game? Another tour. A new project. And once again, the same name dominates conversations across generations. Ronaldinho. Not because he is still playing professionally. Not because he is chasing records. But because, somehow, football still orbits around the joy he gave it. This is the story of why Ronaldinho continues to make headlines long after his final competitive match, through tributes, myths, cultural impact, and a legacy that refuses to sit quietly in history. The afterlife of a football genius. Most athletes experience a predictable arc. Rise, right pointing arrow, peak, right pointing arrow, retirement, right pointing arrow, occasional nostalgia, right pointing arrow, silence. Ronaldinho broke that pattern. Instead of fading, his presence evolved. He transitioned from competitor to cultural symbol, appearing in exhibitions, charity events, and global campaigns that celebrate football's human side rather than its statistics. Fans don't just remember him. They revisit him. Why the internet won't let him go. In the digital age, greatness survives through data. But Ronaldinho thrives through emotion. Every few months, new generations rediscover his highlights, elastico dribbles, impossible angles, moments of laughter mid-match. These clips circulate endlessly because they feel fresh, even decades later. Algorithms reward unpredictability. Ronaldinho built his career on it. The tribute economy, celebrating joy as much as victory. Football in 2026 has developed a new kind of event, tribute-driven spectacles. These matches, festivals, and global tours are not farewell ceremonies. They are celebrations of influence. Ronaldinho often headlines them because he represents something universal, a reminder of why people fell in love with the game before tactics became hyper-structured. When he steps onto the pitch, even casually, the atmosphere changes. The stakes disappear. The joy returns. The club that became his canvas. Much of Ronaldinho's enduring mythology is tied to his transformation in the early 2000s. He arrived during a period of uncertainty and helped restore confidence, creativity, and global identity. That era didn't just produce trophies, it redefined how attacking football could look. Today's tributes often revisit that chapter because it symbolizes rebirth, a player reshaping a club's philosophy through imagination. Rumors, the modern form of mythology. In earlier eras, legends were passed down through storytelling. Today, they spread through rumors. A surprise appearance teased online. Speculation about coaching, mentoring, or exhibition comebacks. Whispers of involvement in grassroots or entertainment leagues. Whether true or exaggerated, these stories keep Ronaldinho in circulation. Unlike conventional news, they function like folklore, adding layers to his legend. Why young fans claim him as their own. Perhaps the most fascinating development is that many of Ronaldinho's loudest admirers never watched him live. Teenagers discover him through curated clips and documentaries and react as if he were a current superstar. This is rare. Most players belong to their era. Ronaldinho belongs to every era because his style feels timeless. The Brazilian identity he still represents. Even as football globalizes, Ronaldinho remains strongly tied to the expressive heritage of the. He symbolizes a version of Brazilian football rooted in rhythm, creativity, and improvisation, values many supporters still see as central to the nation's sporting identity. Whenever debates arise about whether modern systems suppress flair, his name returns as the counter-argument. Headlines without playing, a unique kind of relevance. In modern sports media, relevance usually requires performance metrics. Ronaldinho generates attention without them. His appearances at festivals, youth initiatives, or charity showcases often receive coverage comparable to competitive matches because they represent continuity between football's past and present. He is no longer measured in goals. He is measured in inspiration. The World Cup connection that never ends. The mythology of Ronaldinho is permanently linked to football's grandest stage, the. His performances there helped define an era when Brazil combined efficiency with artistry. Even decades later, tournament seasons revive memories of that balance, prompting renewed discussion of his influence. Every World Cup cycle feels incomplete without revisiting his magic. Influence passed to the next generation. Modern stars frequently cite Ronaldinho as inspiration, including figures like whose expressive style echoes that lineage. This visible inheritance keeps Ronaldinho embedded in current narratives. He is not just a historical reference, he is a stylistic ancestor. Young players emulate the flair. Fans recognize the connection. The legacy renews itself. The commercial power of authenticity. Brands and organizers continue to collaborate with Ronaldinho not merely because he was successful, but because he embodies authenticity, something increasingly rare in a hyper-managed sporting world. He represents spontaneity in an age of scripting. That authenticity attracts audiences who crave emotional connection more than polished perfection. The psychology of nostalgia, and why it's different here. Nostalgia often looks backward. Ronaldinho's nostalgia feels present. When fans watch his old highlights, they don't see outdated football. They see possibilities still unexplored, risks modern players rarely take. That forward-looking nostalgia is why he continues to generate headlines rather than quiet remembrance. From athlete to cultural ambassador, Ronaldinho's post-playing career resembles that of a global ambassador for football itself. He appears in youth development programs, international exhibitions, cultural exchanges centered around sport, charity-driven matches. These roles extend his relevance beyond competition into education, diplomacy, and entertainment. Why football needs figures like him. As analytics, tactics, and commercialization expand, football risks losing its emotional core. Ronaldinho acts as a counterbalance, a reminder that unpredictability and joy are not luxuries but essential ingredients of the sport's identity. He represents football's artistic dimension in a time dominated by precision. Conclusion. A legacy that behaves like a living thing. Ronaldinho still makes headlines in 2026 because his legacy is not static. It moves. It appears in a child attempting a daring trick. In a tribute match drawing unexpected crowds. In debates about creativity versus control. In rumors that feel less like speculation and more like hope. He is no longer just remembered as a player. He has become a feeling football revisits whenever it wants to remember its soul. And that is why Ronaldinho's story did not end when he retired. It simply changed format, from matches to memories, from statistics to influence, from history to living culture.